7-3 Slenderman build can do it all. This build can get some crazy chase down blocks, and you can get those crazy snatch blocks as well. This build can drive to the paint and finish at an elite level. This build can knock down those long range shots, and even at 7'3", this build can create its own shots. This is one of my favorite builds to use this year, so here's how you make it. Obviously, we want to be 7'3", and the weight is very important. We're one up from the max. We're at 231 pounds, and then we are maxing out that wingspan at 8 feet. But let's start out with the defense, which is one of the most fun parts about this build, and we're going to be getting an 84 interior defense, which is very important because we're going to be combining that with a 92 block, and then we're going to use 5 cap breakers here to get our block up to a 97, which will give us Hall of Fame paint patroller, which is going to give you some insane block animations. You're going to be able to get those snatch blocks, and it's going to be very difficult for people to score on you at the rim. But we're also getting some perimeter defense on this build. We're going to have a 62 perimeter defense, which is almost what you can max it out at 7'3", which is the requirement to get you immovable enforcer on bronze. But not only that, you can get a 60 steal on this build, which will get you interceptor on bronze, which means you will be able to get those lane steals once in a while. Now, obviously at 7'3", you're not going to be very fast, which is why you basically have to go almost minimum weight at 7'3". Otherwise it's almost unusable, right? So the fastest speed you can get at 7'3" is this 60, which we will have on this build, and then we're also maxing out the agility. Now, since you do have to lower your weight on 7'3" to get usable speed, your strength isn't going to be all that great. So we're going to have a 72 strength, which obviously on the center isn't great, but being 7'3" with a max wingspan and the great defense is going to help you out with that. And then vertical, we want to max this out at a 74. Now, like you saw in the intro, you can actually create your own shot on a 7'3". So you want to make sure that you get at least a 40 ball handle and you get a 40 speed with ball, because that's going to unlock all the normal dribble animations. And surprisingly, that is really all you need to be able to create your own shots on a 7'3". It's extremely fun to do. It's going to be hard to do in the rec without your teammates calling a timeout on you. But if you check out this video from Glock 19, he teaches everyone how to do dribble moves on a 7'3", and it's absolutely insane what he can do. But obviously, as a center, you want to have good pass accuracy. So we're going to have an 89 pass accuracy, which is going to get us break starter on gold, which is very important to have so you can chuck those long passes down the court after a rebound if someone's open down there. And at an 89 pass accuracy, we also get the Halliburton pass style. Now, since you are 7'3" and we have the max wingspan, obviously your shooting's not going to be elite, but we are going to max it out. You're going to have a 78 mid-range and a 73 3-point shot, which, yes, is low, but if you're using rhythm shooting, you can consistently knock down your shots. And when you're knocking down long range shots or you're knocking down midi fades on a build like this, you are going to catch people by surprise. Now, the finishing on this build is very good as well. So let's start out with post control. We're going to have a 75 post control. I went 75 to make sure that we get unpluckable on at least bronze, because when guards see a 7'3" trying to do dribble moves, they're going to be coming at you just spamming the steal button, which can be kind of frustrating, but this can help out with those small guards reaching at you. And then standing dunk is the first place we're going to put a cap breaker. So we're putting this up to an 89, and we're going to use 1 cap breaker here, which is going to get us rise up on gold. We're also going to get the elite contact dunk for big men at a 90 dunk. And you also will get the Wemby dunk animations, which are really fun to use. Now, we are going to max out our driving dunk to an 80. And at an 80 driving dunk, you can somewhat consistently meter dunk when you're driving to the rim, which on 7'3" is ridiculous. You'll also have gold aerial wizards, so you'll be able to catch lobs at an elite rate on this build. But not only that, we're also going to max our driving layup at an 80, which is enough to get us physical finisher on silver, but most importantly, it unlocks the Giannis driving layup animations, which the Euro step on that package is absolutely insane, as you can see. And then we're going to be finishing out the finishing with a close shot of an 84, which will get us paint prodigy on silver. But obviously having rebounding on a center, especially at 7'3", is very important. So we're going to be putting our defensive rebound up to a 94, and then we're going to use our last 5 cap breakers here to get this up to a 99, which is going to get us rebound chaser on legend, 7'3", max wingspan, 99 rebounding. I mean, it's going to be tough to get rebounds on you. And then we're going to be finishing out the build by putting our offensive rebound up to a 70 and then maxing out our free throw at a 68. Now, I know some of you might be skeptical about having a 70 offensive rebound, but you got to remember that you are 7'3", max wingspan. You're going to have legend rebound chaser. I have no problems getting offensive rebounds on this build. And yes, I know offensive rebound is cheaper than defensive rebound, but having a 99 defensive rebound, in my opinion, is much more important. I think it's more important to secure the defensive rebound, make sure the other team with their 99 offensive rebound build isn't consistently getting those offensive rebounds, and you're not getting them, and you're screwing your team over because you can't get the rebounds on a build like that. So that's why I think a 99 defensive rebound is more important. But the takeover I use on this build is actually Board Beast, which just gives you a boost to your offensive and defensive rebound, which obviously giving a boost to your defensive isn't very helpful, but it gives you a big boost to your offensive rebound. You have an 82 offensive rebound when you have your takeover, but you also get the takeover ability See the Future, which shows you where missed shots are going to be on the floor ahead of time, which allows you to get into position before the other guy and get those rebounds pretty easily. Honestly, I think Horse is a better takeover because it gives you a plus to your rebounding and vertical, which having an 81 vertical with your takeover at 7'3" would be very, very good. And you also get that same takeover ability See the Future with that. The only reason I'm not using the Horse takeover is because I'm just too lazy to grind and unlock another takeover at this point in the game. Now, for your badge max +1s, a great place to put your tier 1 +1 would be on Paint Patroller. You could get that from Hall of Fame up to Legend. If you're struggling with your shooting on this build, you could throw it on Set Shot Specialist instead to get it up to Gold. And there's a couple options for tier 2. You could use it maybe on High Flying Denier to get that up to Gold. Another place I think would be good to put it would be on Interceptor, since it's a tier 2 badge at 7'3". You could get this up to silver. Now, if you don't have cap breakers, this is the build for you. Obviously, if you don't have cap breakers, the build isn't going to be as good. So your block won't be as high and your interior defense won't be as high. Instead of having Hall of Fame Paint Patroller, you'll get Gold, which is still very good to have. And you could use your tier 1 +1 to get it up to Hall of Fame. And then obviously your rebounding is going to suffer. You're only going to have a 94 instead of a 99. But the reason I put it at 94 is so if you do ever hit starter 3 before the year ends, you could use your 5 cap breakers from that to get it up to a 99, and then you'll still get that legend rebound chaser. And then these are all the animations I am using on this 7'3" build, so feel free to pause the video and copy them down. Now, for the jump shot, I am using the jump shot I found from Double H on YouTube, and here's what it is. You got Jonathan Isaac Bass, Franz Wagner upper release 1, Charles Bassey upper release 2, and then here is the blending. Then for the dunk style, under 2 foot moving dunks, I have the windmill baseline reverses and clutch baseline reverses both equipped. And for 1 foot moving dunks, I have the athletic one-handers off of 1 equipped. I have quick drops off of 1 equipped. I also have the baseline reverses off of 1, and then I also put on the flashy hangs off 1 for the park dunks. And then standing dunks, I have everything besides regular put on. Obviously, when I get the last cap breaker from this season, I'm going to put that on my standing dunk, and then I'm going to make sure I have the elite big man contact dunks equipped as well. And then for the signature dunks, I'm using Giannis, I'm using Shaq, I'm using Karl Anthony Towns. And then once I get that 90 standing dunk, I will also be throwing on the Wemby animations. For alley-oops, I got on Pro and then Flashy, and obviously we want the big man contact dunks. And then I believe that is all the animations I use on this build. So let me know what you guys think about this build. Let me know what you want to see next down in the comments, and make sure to click that subscribe button. Here's the web. Peace.